welcome in to another Titan Talks. It's Friday and Kilgoon is joining me today.
Hello.
To go over some OB20 balance. It's just me and Thee today. I guess I'm Manny alongside us.
Yeah.
To just
He'll be quiet.
Go through the balance stuff for OB20. Because obviously, I guess Wednesday we kind of ran through a lot of the stuff coming with Hi-Rez and stuff, and people got a chance to see it on PTS.
Yeah, we ran through pretty much everything coming in the update except for the balance.
Yeah.
So,
because that's always subject to change, and even on the PTS it can still change.
Yeah.
Well.
So today going to run through the balance. We don't have a designer with us today, so we won't be able to get like
insights,
super deep insights. But we can.
This would be
comment on
surface
a
level
little.
opinions. Is kind of what we'd class it as, but that's always the case anyway for the most
Oh,
part.
there's double audio echo.
Double audio?
Echoes.
That should not be happening. Bear with me. That should not be the case.
Echo.
Don't be saying that.
Sorry.
Is this better, chat? Can you hear the echo still?
This better?
Quick check. Echo checks. Part of the delay of the balance today is going to be checking the microphones are working correctly for some reason. It decided to double echo, and I'm not sure why.
Still there.
1 second.
Okay.
You can talk to him.
Yeah. So it's Friday. I'm looking forward to a nice weekend. I don't know if you guys are looking forward to a nice weekend. Hello, can you hear me now? Are we still echoey? We're fixing it. Fixed. Sounds good. Woo! Okay. Awesome. Yeah, chat.
I'm not going to lie real quick, just so you all at home now, okay? Just like all technology, I switched it off and on again. That's all I did there. But that's technology for you, you know?
Yeah.
So just as a heads up of what the issue was there.
Yep.
It always seems to happen. Go on, sorry, what were we saying? Interrupted.
Oh, no, I'm just talking about, it's about to be the weekend. I'm looking forward to the weekend. It'll be nice.
Speaking of the weekend, we've got esports coming. Have a little look at that. SMITE Prime is on this Saturday. It's the first week of the October circuit now, as we've now hit October. Mm-hmm. So we'll be starting over again. It's basically a 4-week circuit, 3 weeks of open bracket play where you can qualify to the final week. The top teams compete for prize money on that final week. However, each week you do sign up and play. There is a chance of you winning diamonds during those weeks too. Completely free to enter. Check it out, smiteprime.com.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I think playing competitive Smite is it's a good experience to have. Even if you're not great at the game, it's it's kind of eye-opening, I think.
Even not playing, like, just for me personally, like when I play a video game, I'm always looking to like I want to improve, right? I want to learn, and so like watching other people play at the higher levels of play and seeing what they're doing in terms of starts, itemization builds, god picks and bans, that sort of thing is always kind of useful, at least as well. So, without further ado, shall we go into
let's talk about some balance.
Well, we'll start off with items, and I can't stop them all being displayed because of how it works. So here's a little look at some of the items.
Yeah.
We go through. That hopefully should be big enough on people's screens this time.
Yeah, so...
Says with hope.
But
we start with items. And Rip Talon, first of all. One of the newer items added to the game. Rip Talon's going to be seeing a bit of a nerf. Attack speed decrease from 25% to 20%. And the recipe cost has also increased as well. So we'll take a little bit longer to get online.
Yeah, this item came out a little bit strong, I would say. This is the second time that it's been nerfed. It was nerfed in a hotfix.
Yeah.
So this is just... still good, a little bit more off the top, a little bit more expensive, should hopefully bring it in line.
Mm-hmm. And then next up, we've got Vital Amplifier and Sanguine Lash both getting nerfs here. Decreased attack speed on Vital Amplifier by 10% to 7.5%, so 2.5% off that, which has always been kind of strong because it's got this healing component of it, of like affecting your heals.
I'm pretty upset about this, actually.
Are you?
Because...
do you get upset at these shows when you see these notes sometimes?
Sometimes, because
I've always like been that way.
I feel like it is not my role to like get involved in balanced decisions unless something's just like egregious and I'm like, guys, we are going to do something about this, right? You know. But otherwise, I'm like, designers know more about that stuff than I do, right?
For sure.
So a lot of times I don't see the details about what we're doing until this show, and I'll admit that I play a lot of Kernanos Jungle with the aspect because it's
with Vital Amplifier.
Oh yeah, it's so good. And it's really fun. And I'm sad that I will be slightly less effective while doing that.
Well, the next one on the list, which is one that people have been asking for some nerfs towards, was Lash.
Yeah.
Passive and active damage from this item no longer provides lifesteal. So it is a tone down on this. Basically, every single tick was giving you some sort of healing. Yeah. And then when you activate it, you would get some healing. So you're going to lose that healing a little bit there.
Well, and it was giving you more stacks of itself, right? Because getting lifesteal gives you stacks of the active.
Self-stacking OP.
Yeah. So I think that that should hopefully make it so not only are you getting a little bit less healing off of it, but I think probably more importantly, you're not going to get as many free active procs off of it.
And again, the devs will always keep touching base with these items to see if they need to be touched a little bit more or buff back up. We'll move on to gods, though, as you can see on the page, and already chat has been talking about, but Ares has had... Technically, it's an adjustment in my mind. I know it's a nerf, but we, once upon a time, added No Escape, who had the ability to cripple on channel, which was trying to really help him out against some of the CC buffering and the fact that people could leap away.
That was really the main thing, was it being able to like leap to negate Ares' ult was just stupid.
Which made it made Ares stronger, and I guess with like the tone, a lot of people have been complaining about Ares. He sees a lot of bans, a lot of performance. So I think removing this again is probably the step in the right direction to see if this is enough. As that was quite a big change.
Yeah. So I think hopefully that will make those on the ban Ares Crusade a little bit happier. I read this in chat. Yeah. And just maybe the screen's small, maybe my glasses are smudged, I don't know. But ban Ares, I swear, looked like Bay Area. And I'm like, the Bay Area Crusade? What's the Bay Area Crusade?
Oh, Bay Area in chat. Okay.
Yeah, but no, it says the ban Ares Crusade.
The ban Ares Crusade, yeah.
Very similar like word shapes, though.
I'll be honest, he's just good against highly mobile gods, which junglers, obviously want to be for the most part. So nobody really likes playing against him. Fenrir is the next one on our little list here today, and we'll go through the Fenrir ones here. Seething Howl. I do believe this did get a bit of a lifesteal buff last time we were on the show.
It did.
But it looks like it's been toned down now. It was 12 flat at all ranks, and we've gone, you know what? Maybe a little bit too strong at 12 in the early game, so we're going to have this scale once again. We're going to start at 8 all the way up to 10%. And note here says this ability description was incorrectly listed to be providing 20%.
Yeah, it wasn't doing that.
Okay, good.
Fenrir, quite good from what I have seen of the data. My guess is that they felt like this was the reason why he was suddenly quite good, so probably just trying to bring him back into the line a little bit.
An aspect of loyalty as well, obviously this evening, how there's going to see the lifesteal decrease to match that. And that was one of the buffs that we just gave to the aspect, really. We gave some other buffs alongside that, so I think they're just going to tone that down a little bit.
Yep.
Little look at Ares. Hades is a fix on this one. This is just something related to Pillar of Agony. I know people always talk about performance, and we always try to improve things, and we're aware that sometimes things can give us bad performance, and Pillars of Agony seems to be one that was causing some sort of frame issues for players. So we've gone back and had a little look at that, and should have helped to clean that up a little bit. Yep. So small note there.
Yeah, we definitely are looking at a lot of... we do a lot of performance optimization stuff every update. It doesn't always make it onto patch notes. So we are looking at specific abilities that maybe are causing performance issues. We are looking at more overarching systems and things that we can do to, cache things and prevent the number of things that are spawning and the number of things that need to be animating it. There's a lot of stuff that we're doing to try and improve performance, and this is just one example of that.
So let's have a little look at Hades. Next up, I'm going to go down. Ho Yi! I believe some data mining stuff came out and people noticed this one potentially, but Ho Yi, the dive bomb, range has been reduced from 8.8 to 7.2.
It was really safe.
I mean, as one of the plus ones that he got, he did get a bit more fluidity with this
Being able to move while he's airborne instead of just...
That mobility, that little bit more hang time and ability to get over walls. This is just a reduction on the range, which means I'm not sure 100% without testing this myself personally.
If it's the movement range or the dive down range.
I think it will be part of both, to be honest. Of you should be able to still dive over walls, but you might not reach the wall as easily as you once did. So have a little play around with that. This is a good touch, in my opinion, towards the Ho Yi. I know some people might be like, oh, but it's so reactive of jumping up so quick. But that does feel fluid and feels good.
And it's kind of always been that way, right? He's kind of always had a safe...
not as safe,
but not as safe because now he can move so far while he's up. I think stay up so long.
The movement is definitely added so much more to him, but maybe just increasing the range a little bit will bring him a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it for sure.
Ho Yi. Next up, Loki. Now this is the one that came out here. Loki. We've changed the aspect on Loki. We've removed the aspect of concealment, and now there's a new aspect, which is aspect of agony.
Yeah.
So now Vanish no longer stealths anybody. Its attack now inflicts a blind instead of a bleed, and agonizing visions, which is the 2, can be cast on allies, providing damage mitigation while slowing enemies. Also, your passive behind you now deals bonus damage scaling with your health and protections rather than its percent increase. And there's the data for you on the actual damage numbers. The mitigation goes up to 25% at max rank. The backstab health is scaling by 2% of your health, and protections is based off 12%.
Yeah, 25% damage mitigation aura. Like, this is really good. I think that it can, it was intended as kind of a tank aspect, obviously.
Yeah.
I think it works either support or solo. Maybe there's room for tank Loki jungle, but probably less so because he doesn't have his stealth ability to gank you unless he ults, right? Like, ult is his only get in there tool now. It's been fun to play in our playtests. Curious to see how people react to it once it goes live.
Yeah, and I think some people might not overreact, but like react to the, oh my God, 25% mitigation seems pretty strong. However, I think when you're thinking about him as a supportive playstyle with more survivability and tankiness rather than, he needs a little bit more utility, and I guess that leans that way quite heavily with 25%, but I guess that number can always be toned down if it's a little bit over the top, but we do want Loki to be played, so we'll see how this comes out. Next up, Jing Wei is getting some buffs.
Yeah, she has consistently been one of the least popular characters in Smite 2, which is kind of interesting.
I think it was, in my opinion, I think some of it is meta dependent of like, is crit in the meta because Jing Wei loves crit, and if there's tanks that are good against crit, then if there are items there. But Persistent Gust, entering into the Gust for the first time will no longer reduce damage or a lower knock-up effect. Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
I wasn't aware that even was part of it.
I will say Jing Wei's like wave clear is really potent right now and like a little bit slept on, but I do think she's starting to rise a little bit more in terms of play. Next up is Jing Wei is Noir, I should say. Mysterious Fog. While stealthed, allies will now pass through other characters. Interesting.
This is a parody thing from Smite 1 that we missed. So in Smite 1, while you are invisible while in the fog, you don't run into minions, you can run through other gods. There's no collision on you. So this is an update to Smite 1 parody on this ability.
Okay, I'm getting, and this is me talking to you, I guess, is it means like allies and stuff, you should be able to walk through those, but enemy minions would see you through the stealth. It's kind of where my brain's at.
They would not, enemy minions don't see you
if they were in the fog with you, though, because you're in Noir fog.
I don't know.
Am I crazy?
I'm not sure.
Maybe I'm crazy.
I don't think so. I think that until you attack, you stay stealthed in that world.
Yeah, maybe you are right. You are right. I'm just being crazy. Next up, Princess Bari is seeing some buffs. I'm just going to check it's all on here. First of all, you saw the Super Cognitive chat. Princess Bari buff. Sacred Bell increased the lob damage from 65 to 225. Will now be 70 to 250. So early game, small rise. Late game, a little bit more potent. And decreased the cooldown of this. It was scaling down to 30. It's going to be a flat 13. So will be spammable a little bit more often. And not only that, fixed an issue where Mystical Surge was not increasing the Sacred Bell roll damage.
Yeah, I think underperforming a little bit was the vibe I had on Princess Bari. I think also like a lot of her gameplay gimmick is supposed to be kind of around the bell, and I think that people are tending to use the 3 more because it's better for stacking your
the mobility,
your passive,
the double
mobility, and all that.
Yep.
So I think probably just giving a little bit of love to the 1, seeing if that shifts things a little bit more in the bell's direction.
She was OP for a while, though.
Oh, so she was super good.
Seeing her come back down a little bit has been useful.
I think that when played well, she's still pretty good, but the metrics do not agree with me. That's my subjective opinion, which is rarely useful.
Summon Kong, next on the list, is a nerf for Undefeated Body, his passive, I guess.
Yeah.
Decrease the protections per level for this from 2 to 1.5 and decrease strength and intelligence per level from 1.5 to 1. So even though they may not look impactful on a base level as you level up throughout the game, this is going to be more impactful in terms of the damage output you're going to get, at least from the strength and intelligence.
Yeah, so basically he's going to get less free damage and less free protections.
Yep.
So we'll see if that brings him a little bit more in line.
And Thanatos is on the list as well. Hovering Death. Basically, a fix with this one, fix an issue where kills from this ability would not trigger his passive cooldown reduction or reduction from items like Jotun's Revenge. So expect to see if Thanatos gets played in your games. He's going to be a little bit more potent once he gets those kills.
Yep.
Tsukiyomi. A couple of lines here. Tsukiyomi is going to be nerfed here by the looks of it.
Yeah, maybe one of these patches we will not nerf Tsukiyomi, but today is not that patch.
Would you feel like he doesn't need nerfs?
No. I'm just saying we're just getting.
It's been a few in a row.
I think it's like the third nerf in a row for Tsukiyomi. But yeah, he's still pretty good.
Has it been 3 updates since we released him too?
But we had like a hotfix nerf for him, I think, and then it's just like I don't know. Maybe I'm exaggerating slightly, but I feel like
long-term experience. It normally takes like from a God release, it normally takes like 3 before you stop seeing bulletins for him anymore. Might be tweaks up, might be tweaks down, might be just adjustments. But Tsukiyomi nerf anyway. Dog Shuriken, the first ability, decrease the base damage from 80 to 70, going up to 270. So 10 at all ranks there. Decrease the strength scaling by 10% and decrease the intelligence scaling by 10%.
Yep.
And also Piercing the Moonlight, the ultimate, has had a 10-second increased ultimate.
I think that's a lot of... I think the 10 extra seconds on the ult will maybe be the most important part of this. For my, again, subjective, non-data driven opinion of playing against Tsukiyomi. Feels like he's just always ulting right now.
It's funny enough, the one thing that a lot of players don't really realize when they look at patch notes, but over the years of even on SMITE 1, 2-second increase or a second increase on an ability or something like that really has a massive knock-on effect on win ratios and win rates, which is kind of crazy to think about, but it does have an impact of just not having the ability up as often. So not going to have that as much. Morrigan, next on the list, and a couple of changes here which are going to be interesting. Deadly Aspects, the first ability. This no longer resets the Morrigan's attack chain, which means you can get that passive off a little bit more often on the attack chain and do some AoE damage comboed with your Deadly Aspects. And then second of all, it's kind of in line with the fog from New War, I guess, Confusion. While stealth, the Morrigan will now pass through other characters. I don't like that, but I understand
the same, parody with SMITE 1 thing that we had missed previously.
She's just so, she's so escapable anyway. So being able to body block her by potentially trying to you are fighting an invisible person, trying to juke left and getting it right felt good, but I understand. She would now be able to pass through other characters.
Yeah. So both of these I think are parody changes, apologies for missing those the first time through.
Makes sense. And next up, last but not least,
our long national nightmare, but maybe not over, but at least will be addressed slightly with some nerfs to Xbalanque.
Xbalanque. A lot of people upset about maybe the amount of damage. And I think some people gave feedback on the notes and didn't see that. All the notes were there, obviously, but Xbalanque, Poison Darts. We've increased the intelligence scaling of this ability, increased the strength per tick of this ability, decreased the intelligence scaling per tick of this ability as well. So the 2 overall should see some reduction in damage there. Additionally, Darkest of Nights, the ultimate, we've reduced the attack speed from this. Not too considerably, but should have an impact 8%. Here. Was 20 to 60. It's now going to be 20 to 52 at max rank.
Yeah, basically it scales 8 per level instead of scaling 10 per level.
I mean, to be honest, when we did the show, I showcased the attack speed. I was like, this is insane. And last but not least, Aspect of the Night Stalker, the Aspect version, the ultimate, decrease the ability damage buff that you get from this. Was scaling up to 30%, will come down to 22 at max rank. So hopefully we'll see a reduction in Xbalanque potency.
Yeah, and then there's a lot, that also is going to be hit by the reduced base intelligence scaling and intelligence scaling per tick.
Exactly. They all add up.
Yeah, when it adds up, hopefully it's gets him into a better place. I will say, I think, from the data we saw that he was doing well, but maybe not quite as well as players have felt like he is doing. I think that it's just once he gets rolling, he can feel very oppressive.
Definitely feels like late game he was potent, but then a lot of carries do get to that point in late game. However, the poison dart damage amount seems to be what a lot of people I saw were complaining about, all frustrated at, which these seem to address. So we'll see how these go.
Yeah.
And that is the last one.
Yeah, that's what we have for this update
today. But we can take questions and try and go through anything else that we've not covered so far.
Yeah,
we've got a lot coming out this patch too.
Yeah, we do have a lot coming out. I put out my my bad slideshow graphic that some people
presentation
don't like, but it's fine.
It gave all the information you wanted. It's just not as flashy and clean as something like a Blues Ultra would be.
Yeah, no,
shout out to Blues Ultra.
Shout out to Blues. I'm not trying to step on his toes. He does a great job. So.
Notes in patch form will be available come Monday, I believe. We'll be going through it. And also say update. It'll be available on Monday as usual, which is the day before we put the patch out on the Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. So I'll be here alone on Monday because
I mean the rest of the team is in. I'm just working with you. You make it allocate. It's just me and you.
I just work by myself.
It is just me, you, and Manu the whole time. That's it.
No, so we'll see if I can rope in a guest on Monday to chat about something interesting ahead of the patch.
I definitely thought I should have. I had a plan today to try and come in with just some base stats of like when people ask questions about is this god doing well, maybe pull it up. I've just not had a chance today. We've been busy with so many different things going on. So
yeah, it's been a busy morning. We both kind of went down like rabbit holes of like, because our playtest got canceled this morning, so like the normal morning breakup didn't happen. So I think we both just kind of like were continued in our early morning rabbit holes for all of the morning. So.
I don't mind saying, because I think the one thing about the show as well is like sometimes I'm working on stuff and I'm like, I don't have anything for the community, but we're still looking at stuff. I know there's been thoughts in the community regarding like levers or dodges in games. And at the moment, I'm currently working, and this is alongside all the other bits and pieces that I'm doing, but trying to like put some investment into seeing how many games we're actually seeing people leave and dodge in match lobbies too, and seeing what sort of like punitive measures we've currently got in place versus how many games it's actually happening in. I know there's a sense that it's happening a lot more at the moment, and that comes in waves, but at the same time, I'm looking at the data and it doesn't appear that it's very, for context, I think it's like 2% of all games or 1% have either maybe an AFK or a lever in it as that regard, but I'm trying to look at that data and see if there's anything we can do with that. If we're seeing repeat offenders, what we can really do to tackle those and action them as well. And then also give people, and this is more long-term, some sort of feedback of when you guys action reports and stuff. We're working through all that sort of stuff in the back end of the month. That's kind of my rabbit hole for the day, that's for sure.
That sounds like a good one. Mine is more obscure, so I can't really talk about it.
No, you can't. Yeah.
I have seen people still saying about the Steam discount for in-game upgrades to 3rd edition. I don't have an update on that. I have asked a few times about it, but the main person who does that work has been out with bronchitis this week, so things have been a little bit slower going to try and get that addressed. I will say, like, we are not like we can run a sale whenever we damn well please. Okay. You know, like if this does not get addressed by the time the Steam sale is over, we can look to try and run a upgrade sale at some point. I'm not promising that will happen because I don't know the full details about it, but like I do know that like we control our own sales, especially for in-game only items that aren't available on Steam storefronts. So
if there's a window does fail and we're not able to do it just due to backup on our end, unfortunately, we can try and look at it.
Yeah, because I mean, like if you're the kind of person who's like, I'm not buying this until it's a sale, like, there will be a sale at some point. We'll get it figured out. So I would rather, we get it figured out sooner than later. I'm fair play
because I definitely balance that book sometimes of like, do I want the new thing straight away or do I want to wait for the sale? And then sometimes I'll be like, man, I should wait for the sale. And other times I'll be like, man, I wish I didn't wait for the sale and just get it straight away.
Yeah, like I pre-ordered. I've been looking a couple times, but I hadn't seen Metroid Prime 4 being pre-orderable on Switch physical. Switch 2 physical pre-orders went up a while ago, but I don't have Switch 2. And I was just like, but I love the Metroid Prime games, and I was like, I need to play that game on day one. And I'm not waiting for it to go on sale. Also, a Nintendo game probably will never go on sale. But
true.
I also bought a ton of games during the autumn sale, and I've been that I was like, they've been on my wish list for a long time, and I was like, I'm looking forward to this. I want to play it. Probably not going to pay full price because I'm not sure I'm really going to like it. Or, it's like a friend of a friend recommended this thing, and it's like, yeah, put it on my wish list. But
I've definitely found my wish list goes one of two ways. It's the wish list of like, oh gosh, goodness, it's out, I should get that, or it's staying on there, and then a sale will come and I'll look at it and go, still not worth it. I've not got around to it yet.
So the game I'm playing right now, other than SMITE, too, of course, is Isles of Sea and Sky.
Okay,
it's pretty good. It was again recommended by like a friend of a friend. It's like a Sokobanish like Metroidvania, but more like puzzly, not actually combat.
Okay,
it's very good. But
it's
again,
a bit more relaxed because there's not combat the whole time.
Yeah, it's just like solving these box pushing puzzles, and it's like really good. But anyway, I was like, I wasn't gonna buy it at full price because I wasn't sure I was gonna like it. But when it's like 50% off or whatever, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a try. Right. Let's see what we're talking about. We have. Will Aspect Shibalanki be getting nerfed as well with his 2? Yes. So the ult, basically you got a bonus damage when you ulted, and that has been nerfed as well. So the extra damage you get from kind of double casting 2 will be nerfed, in addition to the base damage with the 2. Why is...
I saw that I was working on.
What's up?
Go on, what was your question?
No, it's legit. I was going to read this question, and I was like, I realized I don't remember it. Why was Loki Aspect not his original Smite 1 kit? Decoy was such a unique ability. And I'll say, I remember that, like, I remember Loki's original Smite 1 kit, and I remember it largely being very frustrating for players to play against, and leading towards him being one of the most kind of controversial characters throughout the history of Smite 1, which is why he was reworked the way that he was reworked. And then we generally feel like that was the only rework that was ever successful in Smite's history, because the community was so adamant about not having fun playing against Loki. So, you know, I don't remember the exact details of how he worked before he got reworked. It's been so long now.
So basically, it was you know, he used to taunt minions and grab up the wave and stuff like that too. So
that was annoying.
It could also take tower shots for you and stuff like that. So I think there's a little bit of split push caveat in there. There's a little bit of he's never has to appear on the map, because once he gets to a certain level, he could just full clear a wave or clear a camp without even showing himself, and then be completely safe, and more of a frustrating playstyle to deal with. I'm not saying that's the reasons the devs didn't, did change it, but that's kind of some of the stuff that was in
yeah, and his 3 was an auto stim, so his 1 stim plus his 3 stim. Yeah. It's coming back to me now.
Why not bring back one of the most hated things in Smite history?
The thing is that for everybody that hates something,
I was about to say,
there's
always
someone
a few lovers
that loved it.
Yeah.
And that's partially why we're maybe more hesitant to change things when we bring them over from Smite 1, and we're more like, how can we take what was there and was great and then add a little bit extra to it and evolve it, you know? Or if we're trying to change it more with the aspect than changing it in the base kit. Sometimes there are things that you just have to change because they don't work as well in the confines of Smite 2. But in general, we know that there are people out there who love this thing. We try not to change things unless there's a good reason to do so.
How is the aspect performing? I don't have data today, actually. I will try and do this for the shows when we don't have a guest on or something like that, to try and bring a little bit of data in when I can. But I do know Scylla's aspect is getting played at the higher levels, and people are enjoying it quite a lot in the support role. A couple of frustrations there for some people because it seems really potent. However, I just don't have the data to let you know how that's performing. And clearly, at the moment, I'm guessing not over the top, considering it's not seen enough.
Yeah, I would assume that based on that, I will say. Again, subjectively, it can be annoying to play against, but I don't have the data as to whether it's actually very strong. Any insight as to why y'all nerfed Wukong's passive instead of his int style? Nerfing his passive actually will nerf all of his play styles because he's not going to get as much free int, and he's not going to get as much free protections at low health. So he should be easier to kill, and he should also not hit as hard because he's not getting a free, 20 int or whatever it is that he was previously getting. What about Nike rework? People like that. Do you like the Nike rework?
What's the Nike rework?
When she got her shield that could push people?
Yeah, that was no, that was such a frustrating mechanic. I'm not a big Nike person personally, and I really there's only a couple of gods in the game that I really just don't enjoy them being in the game. Persephone, OG Persephone was one, and Nike's probably on my list too. Unfortunately, I just don't like the fact that she can just put the shield up, block everything that's incoming, and then walk away. It's not entertaining to me. I'm just like, But then again, I used to hate Kukulkan because he seemed boring and slow with his abilities, but I enjoy him. Yeah, explanation this day. I'm trying to remember what the original version of that ability was, because I remember the reflection.
Her 2 increased the power of her other abilities. It was like a stim for her other abilities.
So okay. If I'm going to put those into perspective, I do think it was definitely a better ability than the original one. However, still,
yeah. I think like her 1 was 2 hits.
It gave it more interaction,
and then it was 3 hits if you used your 2 first. And I think the jump was longer and faster if you used the 2 first. And I forget if it did anything on the ult. I don't remember. But it was an interesting.
Yeah, and she also had that global passive of movement, speed, and
it was really good.
Oh, so good.
People have been asking for Titan Talk titles and badges for a while. We'll probably get around to it eventually. I feel like...
Yeah, did you see the one that everyone wants there? It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
I thought it'd be good to put in, but then I'm also like, Kilgo, they will just meme us with it if we've not done something in 2 weeks, and we're just going to get that posted everywhere. Like, it's been 2 weeks. Yeah. We can't win.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to have some of that stuff in there. I think we try not to be super self-promoting about Titan Talk. It's for the people that
definitely this is our communication portal to you guys a little bit more regularly. And I know not a lot of developers either A, get the time to do this, or B, have the ability to do this and be as clear as we can be for the most part. It's better, in my opinion, than just, an old OG, like we'll throw the notes up on the site the day before and call it a day and not do any interaction. So
I think it's better to take some questions and interact with people for sure.
Show that we're kind of human at times.
Will we ever be able to see individual god stats before beta ends? KDA, win rate, and the likes from SMITE 1. So you can see this out of game now if you go to tracker.gg. There is this third-party website that tracks all this stuff and can give you that information. I would like to get all that information in-game. It's just not the number one next priority for the team.
Yeah.
The UI resources we had for this update went into new match lobby where you can see your teammates and everything, and the Wandering Market path where you can get free rewards for playing. I felt like those were a better use of resources at this time, given that you can see your god stats out of game by going to tracker.gg. So, we always just have to prioritize the things that we think make the most impact. I would like to get them in game, but again, it's just what's the biggest priority right now? That's the thing we're going to do first. Newish player here and loving the game. Love to hear from new players. Yeah. Great that you're tuning in. Thanks for watching.
Of all the show, new players tuning into this show is always interesting to me because it's like, hey, we're making a game. But also, like, we don't really go into the details of like learning the game. We don't expect people to necessarily tune in for these shows and go, hey, Sun Wukong's intelligence went down by 0.5 at each level, and you're like, oh, that's a big change. However, like it's good to see that people tune in, check out.
Become part of the community. I think is the real thing. So,
but also seeing how the community interacts with like the data points that come through too. So.
Thoughts on new active items being added? Yeah, I think we would like to add new active items at some point.
I don't think that'll ever stop. I just think people's expectations are, it's next patch, when we say this. I think they're always going to be releasing active items, in my opinion, like consistently through the years. We did in SMITE 1. It wouldn't make sense to revitalize, add new where it makes sense.
Yeah, I have a big document of
ideas?
Dozens of ideas for active items that I think could be interesting for the game. The thing is that,
do we get a little cool goon head next to the ones that you get in? Then that'll be cool.
Nobody wants that.
We do, because then we can call you out for it. Because that's what the community. That's what the community loves. They love to find somebody to blame.
Yeah, well, I think
Scotty Ice is a great example for me. Where I'm like, okay,
well, you can blame me for Hui ult dropping a meteor. That was my idea. Oh, so sorry for that one.
You mean the sun blocking?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a really good idea. To be honest, I don't think it's a terrible idea at all. I did ask them to make sure you could press it again, though, to remove that obstacle, because I was like, I don't want to get blocked by my own Who. You being stupid in lane. Please give them the ability to turn it off so I can be more annoyed at them.
But yeah, I have a doc full of ideas for active items. But just so players understand, an active item isn't as easy to make as just saying,
do this,
right? Yeah. Because effectively an active item is creating a god ability. And so it needs audio, it needs FX, it needs some kind of programming help usually. It needs a new item icon, which all items need a new item icon, or reusing an old one, right? And design implementation, obviously. Yeah. So it's, you can argue that it's a fourth of a god, right? Because it's an ability, it is like a god ability to some extent. I'm not saying that we're never doing active items, but I'm just trying to give a little bit of context that they are more work to put in than maybe you would think they would be. But yeah, I think we've definitely heard the feedback about players wanting more
options.
I would say more
exciting options with the word. I guess I was
exciting. I think
intriguing or interesting. Yeah,
game changing, playmaking. I think is the word I like. Like play-making active items.
But there's a difference. And that's the thing that I know people want playmaking items, but there's also going to be a balance point of them of just not putting junk in that's going to be great for a streamer clip. Or clips to then not be good for the game in general at times.
Yeah, I think that there is a good question about your power balance, right? And is a character's kit defined more by the kit or by the items they purchase?
Yeah.
And we've always leaned a lot more heavily on the kit, and the abilities themselves have a lot of intricacies in a game like SMITE.
Sure.
So there's kind of more of your cognitive load around abilities there. But theoretically, I think there is some room for some interesting active items. I don't think that everything is going to be crazy active items all the time.
Yeah.
Some players never want to build an active item, and
sure,
that's okay. We need to be able to support that too. Please remove the Vortex quest. We should remove the Vortex quest. That is good feedback. I don't have a pen.
I've got it. Okay. The Vortex quest. I've seen it listed a couple of times. People upset about it.
I think I think it requires you to play too narrow of a subset of gods.
Or itemization, right? The two options. So you're trying to force people into stuff that they don't necessarily want to do. So, although if there was more quests like that and there was three different options or something, it could be more interesting. But then you're going to see them all in every game because everyone's got the same quests.
Can I get prisms for skins that I don't own in the daily market chest? As of right now, the daily market chest does not contain prisms. It does contain just about every skin in the game other than sagas, I think. But you'll be able to see the full drop rate chance for the different things in it once that goes live, I guess on Tuesday. But it does not contain prisms right now. It just contains base skins.
Mm-hmm. A tower is supposed to target you when Xbalanque ults. I believe there is a bit of a bug at the moment where the tower aggro may switch if you're underneath it while being Xbalanque ulted. It is known. It is being worked on. But there is a chance that, yes, if you are Xbalanque and you ult an enemy team who are under the tower of Phoenix, the Phoenix aggro may switch slightly during that. But you should still be targeted during that time, technically. Yes.
I had one and then I lost it because I was distracted by chat.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
That's what happens. I get one in my head. Then you talk and then I'm like,
oh yeah. That was interesting. Yeah. How do crossovers work? Do you ask them or do they come to you? My dream crossover is DC with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Normal.
Not Catwoman? No. That's a shame.
About that.
Okay. Just throw that out there.
I will say it depends on the collaboration.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think that we have data that suggests that a specific crossover would be really interesting to our fan base. Mm-hmm. So we'll go out and we'll do the legwork to chase that down because we believe in it. So that was kind of some of the stuff that happened around Ruby, Avatar, Slipknot. Those were all...
Hey, we've got a fan base that we think would engage with this. Are you interested? Is that kind of how it starts?
Yeah, we had data that we thought it would do really well. So we found the people to talk to there. We pestered them until they agreed to it, more or less pestering depending on the IP, and went from there.
Okay.
Other ones were more either being approached by the IP. I think... I wasn't actually super involved in the Stranger Things one, but I think that's how that one happened. Like, Netflix reached out because they saw something we had done with some other stuff. And they were like, hey, you want
to do something
here? Want to do something here?
And we were like, yeah. Why would it be not?
Yeah. And some of the other ones are more just like, if we've established a relationship with an IP holder, then conversations maybe are happening around like, what other IPs do they hold, right?
Yeah.
So like Nickelodeon, right? Nickelodeon, or well, the parent company of Nickelodeon. Mm-hmm. Why am I blanking on their name? It's Viacom, I think is what it is.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. The first thing we did with them, I believe, was Avatar.
Yeah.
And that went so well and they loved it that then it was a lot of conversation around, okay, well, hey, we also own Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We also own all of these old Nicktoons, and that led to further follow-up.
The Rocco and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that was fun. We actually had some data that Rocco was like insanely popular with our fan base.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. It fits the Dunza model. Like, it's also because he's just short dude, but also riding the vacuum as well.
It was a lot of fun.
It was also really impactful. But yeah.
So there was a lot of
But it's not as easy. I guess it's not as easy for like people tuning in and going, yeah, we just talk to him and then it's done. Like, there is business that goes on in terms of like making sure everyone's happy with the deal before it can really come to fruition. Yeah,
I've gotten a couple cold call emails about crossovers recently.
Yeah.
That I think are kind of interesting. I've got a couple, I don't know, irons in the fire of things I've been talking to people about that we could always come back to that are kind of interesting. But right now, just with our dev cadence, most of our focus is going into making gods.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it would be a pretty all-in effort to make crossovers at the level that we did. So right now, not the current focus of things that we're doing, but
it's not off the table.
No, definitely not off the table. It's something that we want to get back to because I think that they're very they're very interesting. I will say that over time, as crossovers have become more ubiquitous, they've been less impactful. When every game is doing a crossover every month, it's not quite what it used to be, but I still think they're interesting and they do have an impact.
Mm-hmm. This one came up a couple of times. Can we expect another roadmap once we get to Sylvanas? I know we only just got this one, but we like the regular hype. I think it's pretty realistic that we can try and do a roadmap around the time of Sylvanas to talk about what's coming next. I don't think we ever really strayed away from that too much. I think it was just kind of like we've had this cadence for a while where it's like we'll talk about the next couple of gods and then go from there. And I think last week was the week where we actually got to that point, and then there was more talk of like we've got nothing to be hyped about when we were actually going to be discussing more. But I think there's more not thought put into it, but more of a roadmap established, you know, of like explaining what we're up to.
I think it was good feedback from the community that we should talk a little bit about the things that we're expecting to go out other than just the gods.
I agree. Right? But I also know that and I'm looking at it from internal as well. It's great to tell the public that we're working on these things, but it's not great to tell the public we're working on these things and have them like go, oh, great. And then we have to put it on a back burner for a reason. There's so many reasons. But maybe there's something that just gets delayed longer, and then you're just going to get requested consistently about where it is because you've mentioned it. So it's kind of a balance point.
Yeah, it's like, I've mentioned this big new Conquest gameplay feature. Right? And this is a feature that has been in progress for a while.
It has.
And the design has circled a lot of things for a while. And I'm still very confident that it's going to ship in OB21, but we still have a little bit of work to do to lock in exactly what it's going to be. So I'm hoping that what we playtest on Monday is going to be pretty much the final form. But
I think for some of it, like elements of it are definitely like stable.
Oh yeah.
However, there's elements that we're trying to
some of the connective tissue.
We're just not happy about.
Yeah. So I think that it's like for me saying, hey, we're working on this thing, we're expecting it to ship in OB21. If it slips to OB22, which I don't want to have happen.
But
then
it
might. Then our players like, oh, you have broken.
Let us down. How dare you? And then we're like, well, do we talk about anything then?
I will say, I'm going to answer a question that Sot had about. You said that you had the player base specifically. You knew that they liked Rocco. Yes, we did. There are certain things that come up about the player base that we are frequently surprised by. Slipknot, for example, when we used to survey players very regularly, one of the things we asked them was like, what's your favorite band? And Slipknot was always in the top three, always. And it was just like, it would be like, I don't know, like Linkin Park and Travis Scott, or whoever the big musicians were at the time.
That's an interesting three we've got there. Slipknot, Travis Scott.
I don't know. Like I was just thinking like, people that you would expect to be up there.
Yeah.
And then Slipknot. Slipknot was always like abnormally high for our player base. Yeah. So we were like, oh, we definitely want to try and do something with Slipknot because we have data that says that our players really like Slipknot, right? And for Rocco, there used to be an interesting way of getting to data through Facebook.
Yeah.
Where basically like we have email addresses for everybody that had played the game and given us their email address, which is quite a lot of people. You could anonymize those email addresses, load it into Facebook, then see anonymized what percentage of that audience was also interested in another thing.
Okay.
And a surprisingly large percentage of our audience was interested in Rocco particularly. So that was where we got that data point that's crazy. Rocco was in particular.
I think when you had the data point once we got in game, and like we put it in the game, and loads of people bought Rocco, so we knew.
No,
liked Rocco.
We knew beforehand. Yeah. We it's very rare that we just do something that we're like, hey, we think people will like it.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Even like Stranger Things, we had data that our players really
suggested.
Yeah. Like again, in the player surveys, Stranger Things was almost always like a top 3 TV show that people said they liked.
So because the player base is old. I will say, like, I don't think it's old. It is older these days because like you've got a lot of SMITE 1 into SMITE 2 converts who may have started at 13, 14 years old and now are 23 with kids or something like that. That happens. And everyone's kind of grown up. But yeah, I would say like we've got a lot of younger players playing again, but also we still got that hardcore contingent of SMITE 1 that are still hanging around. And I'm looking back at SMITE 1 with favorable terms of like, man, I really miss season 3. And I'm like, you lived season 3. You didn't like it as much as you say.
Yeah.
I said 23 with kids. Yeah, not 23 kids. Oh, it says 23 with kids. Ignore me. On this economy? True.
I couldn't see the balance. Can we go again? Well, we're going to post this video afterwards, and you can...
Listen, I can skim it real quick while we're waiting. While you wait for another question. Here, real quick for you all. Okay, so Riptile nerf, Vital Amplify nerf, Lash nerf, Ares nerf to the Cripple, Fenrir 2 nerf, Hades bug fix, Hoyi 3 nerf, Loki change to the passive, Jingwei Gust buff, New War Fog buff, just basically stealth stuff. Barry Bells are going to do more damage. Sun Wukong going to be a little bit survivable. Thanatos, he's going to be more seen in your games. Tsukiyomi might be more manageable. Morrigan, you don't want to see her, but you're going to see her. Jablonke won't hurt you as much. There you go. And at the end of the day, we will also post these two. This is what I always thought about patch notes back in the day. Of like, I could do this in 5 seconds. And they go, and then we're on with the day. It's basically a 5-second TikTok video.
How are the ads doing? I've been seeing a lot of ads. We're still not spending very much on ads. Like, I would say we're spending like maybe $200 a day, which is not very much to spend on ads. We're still testing stuff. And if it's targeting Smite players, then it, is in some ways working because it knows the kind of person, in some ways not working because you're already playing, so it probably shouldn't be targeting you.
Yeah. I guess it's not bad if you're catching some players that are already playing the game because you're in the right ballpark, but you don't necessarily want to advertise something to someone that's already got it.
Yeah. So we are we can monitor as part of our stuff, like people that interact with ads and then come back to playing the game if they haven't played the game in 30 days, which we call win back. And we do actually see that we're getting pretty strong win back off of the ads. Acquisition through the ads has been, I would say, more successful on some platforms than others based on what we can track. I feel like there's something. I feel like there is either something broken about our tracking on Snapchat or else it just is a really bad platform for us to advertise on.
I did see some people go, why are you advertising on Snapchat?
Well, because here's my thought on Snapchat. Like people of certain demographic groups, like certain age ranges, are very on Snapchat, right? And you generally want to like meet your consumer where they are and have them see like, oh, hey, I heard about this game on Snapchat. I'm not thinking necessarily that like, it's probably a good channel for like direct response. Like I click, I install. Yeah. But maybe more like awareness driving. It has some impact. Yeah. Again, we're not spending very much money on any of this, so it's more just like experimentation.
With advertisement too, sometimes it's just like see a logo and then think about the logo, and then a week later you'll see the logo again, and it kind of gets in your brain where you're like, oh, I know that. And
then, the general rule of thumb, for dumb marketing rules of thumb that may or may not be factual is like you have to see something 7 times before it registers what it actually is. So
if we flash the devs with buff Scardy or something like that, like over and over again 7 times, then okay.
I don't know if that's actually true, but yeah. So we're running ads on right now. We're running ads on Snapchat, Twitter, Reddit is the best performing, and Google Network. So Google Search, Google like Display Network, and YouTube, and that's kind of where we are right now. I think they're going, I would say, pretty well. Some of the metrics look really good. Some of them look like we have some more work to do before we start scaling. But I think it's like a good experiment for us to be working on. And yeah.
Kilgoon, is it true Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was one of the most successful collabs? I don't know if you know that. I don't know it, so
it was. I will say on PlayStation, it was the most successful collab. For some reason. I
was going to say like Magic, and then you've got Naruto. Like, no.
We didn't do Naruto.
Well, I said Naruto. Avatar. Sorry, Avatar. I don't know why I said Naruto
there. So TMNT, for some reason, most crossovers performed very like similarly across platforms. Yeah. But TMNT in particular just went nutty on PlayStation. I don't know why. And it just brought in tons of new players on PlayStation particularly. Sold really well on PlayStation particularly. I think it did well. In terms of what our best performing one was, I think it's almost certainly Avatar. Without the data in front of me, that would be what I remember at least. Yeah. But that also came towards the leading edge of crossovers. Like there weren't a lot of crossovers in the world yet when that came out. It was an
earlier crossover, yeah.
And it came out very intentionally on our behalf, right after the series became available again on Netflix. So we had a little bit of good timing there. And then also it was, was it the year before COVID or was it during COVID? I think it might have been during COVID summer.
That area just blends these days. So yeah, maybe.
It was a lot of things that kind of stacked together led Avatar to almost certainly be our best performer. What about Transformers? Transformers did well. Transformers, the thing about Transformers is that it was a very expensive crossover to do, not in terms of like what we had to pay them. I'm never going to comment on that part of it.
Yeah.
But just in terms of like
the animations,
making
like that,
characters that transform is more expensive. So even if it like sold okay, it cost us a lot more to make. So maybe the amount of money that we actually made off of it wasn't as great.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why we always wanted to go back to Transformers and do like additional skins for that lineup. But it was just like looking at what it would cost to make more transforming skins versus what we could expect to earn in terms of sales. It was like always a little bit questionable. Also harder because we had to get approval from Japan to do anything. So we had to sign like a second agreement with Takara Tomy, which is like the original toy inventors or something. So it was just like there was a little bit more deal
process was longer
around it. Low battery remaining. Well, hopefully it survives to the end of the show.
Oh yeah.
My iPad's dying. When are we going to do Double Worshippers again? I suppose we should pick a time.
Yeah. We'll do it soon. I'll investigate and work that out. We just did one 2 weeks ago or something, right?
They say 5 weeks.
Has it been? It's not been 5 weeks.
They say 5 weeks. I don't know. Chat never lies.
I'm pretty sure that's someone asking in chat for 5 weeks of 2 times. Not 5. It's been 5 weeks. I'm trying to look at when it was one of the God releases recently. Maybe it was Suki. Maybe it has been a minute. Maybe we'll do 2 times soon and we'll let you know. Yeah. But it won't be this weekend.
Not this weekend. Triple Worshippers during the 2-week gap at the end of the year. I do like the idea of doing maybe a little bit of a more extended thing over the holidays.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to be Triple Worshippers, but I do like the idea of some kind of an event. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for that.
I was going to say, Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day, we make it 3 times, so we force you to stay away from your family.
No, that's horrible.
That's me.
No.
Christmas Scrooge.
No,
right? That's great. It's like the
Grinch.
Grinch.
Time with your family.
Yeah, go play Smite. You can hang out with your community family.
Yeah.
You know?
Is there an option to change the self nameplate to make it so health and mana bars are on either side of the God model, for example? I like having it next to the model, but it's in the way where it is now. This is something that has come up before. I would say it's not a top UI priority. It's probably a relatively small percentage of players that are going to choose to do this. It's one of those kind of nice to have features that we might add eventually, but most players don't turn on the self nameplate. So that's small percentage already. The percentage that turn it on, but or don't turn it on because they would like it on the side, or turn it on, but would rather have it on the side, it's probably even a smaller percentage of that. We always have to think about what's the thing that's going to benefit
the majority,
the most players.
Yeah.
You know, so that's it's probably just not going to get prioritized anytime soon, but it is something we've definitely talked about.
Last 2 times was before, so wasn't that like a week and a half ago? There's already debated here. I'll work it out, chat. Listen, you'll get 2 times soon, okay? I promise, not this weekend, though.
These people have no idea what Thanksgiving is. Thanksgiving is the 4th Thursday of
Friday of November.
It's a Thursday.
I believe it's a Thursday of November, because Black Friday, right?
Yeah, because Black Friday's after.
I'm not American, so I don't know this holiday. This is a weird holiday to me the whole time where you're like, so you meet your whole family for a whole day and eat turkey.
Yeah.
And then within 30 days of that, you're going to do it again for Christmas. Are you insane?
Yeah, that's...
Why did you not balance these out at equal distance apart?
I did not schedule Thanksgiving, but... Yeah, it's, you 4th Thursday of November. It's a big American holiday where your whole family gets together and you eat a big meal and hysterically, yeah. They usually tend to be somewhat hysterical at Thanksgiving, but
they can be.
Talk about the things that you're thankful for, and watch a lot of football. That's really the other thing.
It is football time. Yep.
Yeah. Canada Thanksgiving is next weekend. That's interesting.
Is one of the parades on Thanksgiving? It is, right?
Yeah, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. It's a big one. Do a reveal. Did we get our flu shots on Wednesday? I did get my flu shot on Wednesday. I did immediately afterwards. My arm is still a little bit sore. But yeah, we got dragged over to stand in line.
Are you all working on more luxury priced items?
I would say not.
Not that I know. I don't know.
I'm aware of. I think we're going to continue to do some name flare bundles. I think we're going to continue to do some teleporter effects. I think we're going to continue to do sagas, which are a little bit more expensive. But, we aren't planning I don't know if you remember, there was like an early iPhone app called like I Am Rich that was like a $500 app that didn't do anything other than be like a pretty icon for you.
Just say you were rich.
Just to say I am rich, right? We aren't planning.
It's like keycaps on a keyboard just for the sake of it, but you're not going to use it. Okay.
Yeah. So I think we're looking at premium things in the category of things that are already premium along the same price lines for people that like that. But I don't think we have anything else on the agenda right now. Always a chance that something comes in the future, but. Oh, luxury price items in game, like Hussar's wings.
Oh, I thought you just meant I didn't.
Did you go the same way as I did?
Yeah, I definitely went the same way. I went for like it was cosmetic related, not related to items in game.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll even say to that one then on like luxury price items in game. I don't think we'll ever say never to never on that for sure with the devs. Obviously, Gilgan already just mentioned about how difficult it can be to put some items in the game, especially if you've got active items. And I expect that those luxury items probably would maybe see some actives unless they've got really potent effects like Hussar's Wings, which is immunity to slows, which is so good. Yeah. So good.
I'm going to tell a story which I think is funny and which may get people mad at me.
Okay. Interesting. Let's go.
Somebody says, can we drop Smite 3?
I was about to make a joke about that one too, where I'm like, we've barely even started on Smite 2, it feels like at the moment. And then where are we going to get the next currency from? Like, because, we're going to have to put another currency on a currency on a currency. It's going to be crazy. Go on,
I was just going to say, I was half joking, half serious with the Paladins team after Overwatch 2 was announced. That they should announce Paladins 3 and just temporarily rebrand themselves as Paladins 3, just kind of as a bit.
Yeah.
And they did not find it amusing and chose not to go that direction. But I had thought that it would be an amusing dig given what was going on in the gaming sphere at the time. So. Will Nua's ult going on cooldown before it goes off be fixed? I'm not aware of that happening.
I'll check exactly what you mean, but I'm guessing it goes on cooldown just as you're firing it and you're not up in the air and going on before it goes off.
Maybe listen, if you are in
the animation of doing a Nua ultimate and you die, good. Okay? Like you are trying to take yourself out of combat, you press the button, you pressed it late, no free damage for you, lose your CD, you're in base for probably 30 seconds dead anyway, you get another 25 seconds of walking back to base because you already used your teleporter to get back to the lane on the last wave clear, you died then, you didn't buy Aegis to avoid the damage, no, your ultimate is on cooldown, wait the additional 20 seconds. Yeah. Don't know when I came out. I just decided,
that's great. I loved it.
It's going to go in on this one because, However, I'll check into it exactly what's going on with the new war there. But I believe if that's the case, then just die. Learn it all earlier.
Be honest with me. When is Slash coming? Or Slash? What are we thinking?
Be honest with me.
I'll be as honest as I can be. I love Slash. I have played a lot of Siege. I played a lot of Clash. I played a lot of Slash. I think they're a really fun mode. Unfortunately, never popular. Never very popular at all. Always less popular than
all the other modes.
Assault, Arena, Joust, obviously Conquest. Given, as we were going into Smite 2 development, it was like, let's prioritize the modes that are the most popular.
Sure.
Because those are things that are most important for the player base. So those are the modes that we've prioritized right now. Given the comparative popularity of Slash and Conquest, I think that right now our focus has been on let's continue to improve Conquest and get that into a better state. And then maybe at some point in the future, we can talk about Slash again, right? I personally really do enjoy the mode, but again, it was relatively unpopular. It's a lot of work to bring in a mode. And even though it is popular, not too many people will probably play it. It does further split the player base between modes. So we try not to further split the player base, and we try and focus on things that most players enjoy the most. Again, I would love to see it come back someday, but just it's not happening anytime soon.
Not anytime soon, not completely off the table. Bear with Clumsy, what is it? I just saw Clumsy's been in chat, and he's been saying he's added 3 more item nerfs.
What about Scylla aspect chat or Clumsy? Because that's what.
Oh, good. We're gonna live balance with Clumsy Scylla aspect. We get anything there? If you want to say it in chat, Clumsy, you can, or you can just message me on a platform that I've got, one of the many, and I will be able to see it right now.
Yeah,
it's up to you. If you want to just put them in chat, I could just read them out. That could be the place. So I guess we're hanging on for an extra second because Clumsy's got more balance for us last minute.
He shows up the last
if he was on the show, he could.
Okay,
go on. Do you want to read them out?
Sure. Lernian Bow, 10% damage off and 10-second additional internal cooldown.
Oh.
Pendulum Blade, an extra 250 gold to build.
250? Okay.
Polynomicon passive goes from 65% scaling to 60% scaling, and the item will cost 150 gold.
Well, there's your Scylla touch, I guess. No, not really, but still. So Pendulum Blade, cost increase by 250. Polynomicon, a cost increase of 150 plus a reduction of the passive by 5%. And Lernian Bow, 10% off. Clumsy, can you make sure you put those in the notes for me so I can host these on the website,
can you
please?
try and tell us before we start the show?
Yeah, that'd be great, Clumsy. Or you turn up to the show, Clumsy. That could be the other thing that you could do, instead of just dropping it here last minute after the show's technically supposed to end.
Yeah.
But now it's 2:01. That means
2:01.
It's time for one
more
question.
Yeah.
I like that variation.
That was a fun version.
Wasn't intentional, but it is what it is.
I'm drinking an orange kiss.
Water for me every time.
I honestly was looking for something else in the fridge today, but it wasn't there, so I grabbed this.
I try to stick with water these days because I used to do a ton of energy drinks when casting and doing stuff the whole time. Just not good for you. So whenever I do these shows, like, you do need some sort of hydration. So just stick with the water. What's the last question we're going to find today?
Yeah, we got to find it.
If you had to sing, I'm going to do Bobby's because I'm not even ready yet. If I had to sing a song in front of 1 million people, karaoke style, what song are you picking? If I Was a Boy by Beyonce, that's what I'd go with.
Okay, I don't know.
Either that or Bohemian Rhapsody. You do know that one.
Maybe.
I'm not singing it.
Okay.
Don't try and bait me. Don't try and bait me into singing it. I've done some weird ass stuff with this company over the years, so it's not going to be too far-fetched.
I don't know. I like 90s rock hits when I'm doing karaoke. So I think probably the
rock
two
hits are always solid. Yeah.
The two that I would say the three that I do the most are Bullet with Butterfly Wings by Smashing Pumpkins, Hey Jealousy by the Gin Blossoms, and Going the Distance by Cake. Yeah, that's a fun one. People get
going for spoon.
Yeah, and everybody starts like screaming along with you. It's a good one. Those are the ones that I do the most often. They're kind of well known and fun and not too hard.
Well, that's my question. Haha.
That was your
my question. You stole it too, but yeah, you got to pick one.
Let's see. W. Killigan. Hey, I'm glad you liked my songs. Yeah, I'm going to say there's a few questions I'm maybe a little bit avoiding, but it's okay.
Sure.
I'm going to say there's a question about Green Camp coming back.
Yeah.
I'll say that's something that we have talked about. I think it's something we're not necessarily opposed to. I think the idea of each class having their own buff or each role having their own buff is a little bit different than in Smite 1 because you can pick up multiple buffs. So it seems more likely that somebody would end up picking up 2 buffs instead of each person getting their own buff. So that's one of the reasons why it hasn't been a super high priority that support gets their own buff. But I think we are just, I would say in general, aware of the feedback that people would like to see green buff come back. I think that that's kind of part of an overall bigger thing about like people want more interesting things to do on Conquest, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And so we're
rather
definitely
than just green buff dialed in, yeah.
Taking that feedback of Conquest should be more interesting in general, and we've been working on that. And hopefully when we show off what's coming in OB2021, hopefully, fingers crossed, you all are excited about that. Mm-hmm. So that's a good note to end on, I guess.
It is, I believe so. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into this Titan Talk on a Friday. Monday, we'll release the official notes after the PTS, which is available all weekend for custom games. If you guys want to jump on in, always is available. You can test out some of this new stuff as well.
And we watch a lot of random streams from that, trying to find bugs and issues.
We
read all of your bug reports. So if you have any issues that you run into on PTS, please do let us know.
And that means we can try and get some of them corrected before the patch hits on the Tuesday. But then, yes, Tuesday will be the patch, and Monday you'll see Kilgoon back here for Titan Talks, hopefully with a guest as well, other than Manny.
Yeah.
So
Manny will be here at least.
But enjoy your weekend, and if we don't see you beforehand, we'll see you on the Battlegrounds. Take care. See you later.